Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for joining for this little webinar here, showing a little bit more on SafetyHQ. Excited to have you guys join in. We got quite a full house today. So my guess is at the end, we'll have some time for questions, but I don't know, we'll get through all of them. If we don't have a chance to get through all the questions, feel free to reach back out if you want, maybe some more individualized questions specific to how SafetyHQ can work for you and your team. Certainly let us know. My name is Eric Vittardi. I can be reached at edv@foundationsoft.com. I'll give you that at the end too if you need me. But yeah, as we get going, feel free to pop some questions into the chat, and we will take a look at SafetyHQ from a really high level today. Hopefully give you guys some more information, answer some questions, and go from there. So let's get started. As we have here too, so I'm hoping you guys can see my screen. I'm on my laptop, and this is SafetyHQ on the laptop version, but this is what's called a progressive web app. So we can download and install this onto our iPhone, Android, tablet, whoever makes any of these devices out there. Pretty flexible in that regard. This will look almost the same on the mobile device. The differences you will see will be kind of this dead area on the left and right hand side. This blank space will be trimmed down to fit the mobile device, but you're going to be seeing most, if not all, of the same experiences that you and your team would experience using the mobile app as well. So important thing to keep in mind. Because this is a progressive web app, important to keep in mind that we can also use this in offline mode. So I'll just kind of pop over here just to show you. There's nothing really to show for the offline mode per se, but these are some settings that will allow you to go ahead and use this software in offline mode that will then sync up automatically when you get back to another place that has service or internet or Wi-Fi or what have you. Some other things to keep in mind maybe before we get rolling. We have projects and workers. This will relate to jobs and employees in your Foundation database. These will sync automatically using the Foundation API. So anytime you add a new job, you add a new employee, you don't have to worry about the duplicate entry because that'll fill right in from your Foundation software database into SafetyHQ. However, if you're not using Foundation software, not a problem. All of these solutions, all of the items that I'll show you today are still functional. We still have a pretty significant group that isn't necessarily Foundation clients. The last thing I'll mention too, before we really get into it here, would be this icon here that says translate. You'll notice that throughout the presentation. This is a nice option for us to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English. Additionally, as we get into there, we can set up users to be primarily English speaking or Spanish as their default language. So really, we would only be using this icon if we need to pass some information across a language barrier one way or the other. So important to keep in mind, and I always kind of forget to mention those things, so I like to start with those out of the gate. But let's take a look right at the top here. We have a number of forms. Now these are fully customizable. These are just some templates and ideas to give you an idea of what you guys can do, what you guys can build, or what you can have us build in SafetyHQ for you. I know the first thing that everybody thinks, or at least that they hear when customization comes up, is additional cost. That's not the case. Any additional forms that you might need built, any changes to an existing form, a tweak to an existing template. We do have a number of templates in here that we can use for you guys if you're just starting from scratch. That's included in your monthly subscription. So part of your implementation process, and if you change something down the road, no worries, we can customize that and change that for you. If, say, a GC requires a different form for your JHA or requires a different format or what have you, we still got you covered. So a number of things that we can cover in here. I'll just show a quick JHA and a quick maybe safety audit to give you a feel for how these two items work. You'll notice, before we really get into it, this yellow icon is always going to be the action item. So one of the focuses in SafetyHQ is ease of use. We want your users to be easily using this. We want them to save time from the paper forms. We want them to be really comfortable in that. And that's seen throughout the software, throughout a number of areas of detail here. So I'll go ahead and select the project. I'm selecting my AMD bridge project. I'm going to go ahead and select the temperature and some weather, so forth. This JHA is set up as more of a daily, but again, we can tweak these. Keep in mind, fully customizable on these. The same will go for these tasks and hazard types that may be more specific to your business. But let's go ahead. I'll pick an access, maybe fall protection, and environmental. You'll notice this started as a very small form, really concise, keeping them focused. Once I select the particular hazard types I'll be working with, it'll only show those particular hazards. So we're not showing them too much information. We're not wearing them out with a whole bunch of different options. And you'll see this again on the next page. As we go ahead and see the controls related to that JHA, you'll only notice controls that are related to the hazards that we've selected. So I know for a fact, cold weather and high winds. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm selecting here because these are fully customizable. But the goal is that form that might have been 10, 15 pages or however long it is in your current state, if you're doing it at all, we've really narrowed that down, consolidated it, made it easy to use, and we're ready to roll. Next step, let's go ahead and get these the photos on here. Again, this is a mobile first app, so if you're out on a site and you got your iPhone with you or Android or tablet or whatever you're using, snap a quick photo. I'll go ahead and do that. I'm grabbing one off my laptop because I don't have a camera on my laptop. But if I go ahead and do that, I can maybe select a particular hazard. Now, I forgot, honestly, what I selected here is a potential hazards that we're working with on this site. But you can see how I can easily mark up potential hazards, put other indications on here with arrows. I can free draw on here if I need. I don't know, I think you guys get the idea as a whole here. But a lot of cool options that we have as far as marking up photos, adding multiple photos, in addition to things like our signature process and the addition of attendees here too. So I'll go ahead and select a couple of attendees. And rather than trying to figure out what some of these items say, I'm sure your team is a lot like mine, that these signatures are a mess, right? There's no way you can figure out who or what this is. It's tied directly to the employee record. No concerns from that side. So I'll go ahead and submit that, and we're done. I mean, that's as easy as it really is. So when we get in there and look at some actual details of completed ones, we have a lot of options. We can go ahead and review all of our completed items, and we can do that by, either sorting this by project if I need, by who submitted it, time frame that we want to review, company division, whatever we might need. We can also search in this area as well if we're looking for a particular item, and this will search within the files as well. So pretty flexible in that regard. But more often than not, I say, hey, this GC or this customer has requested all of the JHAs for a particular project. Not a problem. We can select them, or I can just select one. You can download and PDF this and share this with whoever that may be. I got this on my other screen here, so 1 second as I pull it over. Yeah, we put your name and logo up in the top here. Again, we can customize this format. Click right into here if you want to zoom into some of those details, and we have a nice professional looking JHA that we can share and email directly from the PDF window. Now that's nice if you want to get the good looking version and you want to share it or what have you, but you can also get in here really quickly. This is kind of what I call the rough draft. You can get in, see all the details that you might need without necessarily downloading a PDF. So it saves you a little bit of time if you're just using it for internal purposes or what have you. From there, let's go ahead and maybe take a look at like a job site safety evaluation. So you can see we have some scoring options that we can add in there as well. But all of this is organized and structured much the same way. So once we get to a completed safety evaluation, you'll see they're stored in here the same way. You can sort and filter them the same way. You can PDF and share them the same way. We really want to keep this as consistent as we can, even down to clicking this big yellow action item button to get going. So I'll go ahead. I'm going to select the project that I'm working on. I'll select an option for the material. This particular one has multiple options. And again, fully customizable. So if you guys are doing a safety inspection for the site or a regular site audit, easy to get in here, change the, we can work with you and change these forms to meet your needs. If I run into a particular issue on that site though, it's really nice. I can simply go ahead and say, first aid kit is not on the site. I can add a corrective action right from that notice. It'll give me some suggestions from a deficiency perspective as far as how we can address this going forward. We'll just say it's not on site. It'll suggest the action taken. From that perspective, I can also assign this to somebody. So I'm going to assign this to Paul to address. I could take a photo just like I did previously and mark it up. And in this case, I'm going to assign, because I've assigned this to Paul, I want to make sure that we get this addressed before we step on the site tomorrow. I hit back to my evaluation. When I submit all this, this will go off to Paul. Paul will get a notification, that he has a corrective action assigned to him, and it'll give him the details on the first aid kit that's missing. But I can carry on with my form as needed, complete section by section, add additional photos and so forth. But again, customizable to whatever you guys need. Now the question might be, what's happening to those corrective actions aside from Paul's view? Well, it's easy. I can go ahead and look here in this corrective action section to see, what's outstanding. Maybe I just want to see what's assigned and what's still open. Maybe I only want to see high severity items. A lot of flexibility to really get into the details of certain deficiencies or issues that you might be having on your sites. And then again, you have some automated reporting in here. I don't want a custom date range, I'll pick the year. I have some automated reporting that'll show us, some leading indicators, some trends as far as deficiencies that we may have, different items along those lines. And then we can even break these reports down by project, by who submitted them, all those types of items as well. So from there, we have a ton of forms, and I'll just kind of buzz through a couple of other small things just to give you a feel. Equipment, if you guys are using equipment regularly, there's a lot of fun things that we can do in here as far as automatic notifications. And this is beyond just equipment, but if there's a particular case and say, hey, you know what, well, this is good, certain components are not working appropriately. As soon as I mark this as unsafe, this will send off an automatic notification, whether that be to my shop, whether that be to my safety director, whomever needs to know about it. They don't have to worry about routing some of these, some of these issues that you can find through the inspection process. They'll be automatically notifying the team right at the completion of one of these inspections. Additionally, since we're talking equipment, I'll kind of bounce down here a little bit. There's a lot of options. We can really review inspection logs. We can manage items by overdue inspections, by type of inspections, by maybe it's annual, quarterly, monthly, whatever. Again, we still have all those photo options where we can mark things up. We can even get down to, I think I got an example over here. We can even get down to relating pieces of equipment together. So if you say, hey, anytime you inspect that Ford F-150, make sure you also inspect that aerial lift as well. We can tie that to users, photos, a whole bunch of options in here as well to review. But back to the forms, I'll leave this tray open for a second just to give you some ideas. But again, if it's a crane inspection, if it's a particular item that you need somewhere else, just let us know. And if you have an idea, if you have an example, it's as simple as sending it in. If you want to talk through with the team as far as some ideas that you have and what you want to tweak and what you want to build out, that's perfect. We have a dedicated team available from 8 to 8 Eastern that can help you with all those items. They've gone through numerous OSHA audits, reviews, inspections with their customers over the years. And they're all, part of the foundation family here too. So you don't have to worry, like any other one of our services, getting somebody from support from a different location or what have you. So we've seen corrective actions, we've seen forms, that's great. Let's go ahead and take a look at toolbox talks and get a feel for that as well. So I want to go ahead, I want to clear my filters, start at the top. Where are we going to pick today? I don't know. I'm going to pick the wire rope cable clips. We can also search up top here if we need. We got about 130, 150 active toolbox talks in here and available in both English and Spanish. Easy to add your own if you'd like to add in an additional toolbox talk or many toolbox talks that maybe you get from your insurance company or your trade organization. But I'll pick one as an example here, kind of give you a feel for what this looks like. Now I can either immediately conduct this toolbox talk, or I can go ahead and share this with the team, right out of there as well. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and share this. I'm going to select a foreman. I want to send this to all my foremen, maybe all my crew leaders, whatever roles fit your company. We can customize this as well. But let's go ahead and say I want all my foremen to complete this toolbox talk. Let's say we do these on Mondays, and we've already assigned one out for the 5th. Let's just say, perfect. On December 12th, we'll go ahead and send this to everybody at 6:30. Email, text message, and in-app notification to let them know that they've been assigned a toolbox talk. I'll go ahead and send that off. And boom, it's not going to hit them right away. They'll get the notification at the time that you've suggested. So it's not one of those things where, hey, I've been assigned this 3 weeks from now, I'm just going to ignore it. They'll get that at the time and date that's relevant to them. Again, right in this inbox or via email or text message. And those emails or text message will take you right back to that screen. So if I go to right where I was here, it'll drop them right on this page on what they need to complete. Again, select the big yellow button, select the project, obviously perform the toolbox talk with the team, collect signatures, and we're ready to go. So we can add multiple of this. We can also take a photo too, if you want to take a photo of maybe like a paper sign-in sheet or something like that. If you don't prefer this method, take a photo of the group, all intently paying attention to the toolbox talks. You can do all those items. And then again, reviewing those completed toolbox talks will be much the same as I showed you on the JHA. If I want to select this, I can PDF and share it. It'll look almost the same. If I want to sort this by a particular topic, project, who submitted it, really easy to do so as well. And then we also have some nice features in regards to recording toolbox talks and reporting. So this isn't just limited to toolbox talks. We can do this for any of the reports, whether it be a JHA, whether it be a site evaluation, whatever. We can use this tool to check and make sure people are following following through on those safety activities. So in this case, we've assigned a role, in this case administrator, 1 per week. So we want these administrators to complete 1 toolbox talk per week. I got some test data in here, so they're not doing very good, but I'm doing great because I'm in here a lot. So you can see I've completed 13. I've well filled my my expected quota here. You can select particular individuals or all individuals who have not met the requirement. And then from right here, you can send a notification out to say, hey, you guys need to stay on top of those toolbox talks. Notification comes from here. If you need to include a manager or multiple managers, you can do that as well to let them know that maybe the team's falling behind on toolbox talks as well. A question that I often get is, is this just for foremen? Is this for everybody? We can set this up on an individual basis as well too. So really flexible in the setups, perspective. And that's why I again mentioned, if you got some individual questions, or if you say, hey, it's not quite what we're doing, it's worth reaching out because we might, and more often than not, we can, meet all of those requirements. We've seen a number of those issues out here, or a number of different circumstances, and we can meet most of them for you. Finally, we have some graphs here that we can kind of show, submissions and other things that we can do, maybe if you have an incentive program or something like that to complete these. From there, SDS library, almost 1 million records in here, just a little bit shy, I believe. Easy to sort, filter, and review if you got a particular item that you're looking for, a particular manufacturer. Maybe it's a product code that you're looking for. Let's go ahead. I can pull one of these up on the spot, review that SDS. Now, if there's something that I'm missing here or that we're missing as a whole, Simply go ahead, request it from the manufacturer. We will reach out to that manufacturer. We will grab that SDS that you're looking for, as well as additional ones, and we'll source them right in here for you. So if we're missing something, or if we don't have something that you're looking for, let us know in advance, or just give us a little ping, and we can certainly go grab that for you. Working our way down the list, we have this lessons module. So this is a really good area, to add in-house trainings, right? So I think I picked hazard communications. We can include photos, videos, work off of PDFs, PowerPoints, what have you. We can assign this out just like we do toolbox talks. We can require them to take a quiz after they've completed it to make sure that they're paying attention, that they were involved in the actual training process. And the really nice piece about this is those trainings, as soon as they're completed, they will be managed in here along with other certifications that maybe you guys don't do in-house. Maybe somebody went to a forklift training elsewhere. You can manage in-house and third-party trainings all in one place. You can manage what's expiring, what is expired, review whatever you might need here. We can see, hey, I want to see anyone in the next 90 days who's going to expire on forklift training. Maybe we need to get a class in here. Perfect. I need to send test user number 1 out to get updated on this forklift. Additionally, we can do this by a particular training type. If I just want to say, hey, let me see everybody with a first aid CPR. Let me see everybody with, their OSHA 10s, whatever. We certainly have those options. And then we can also include, I don't have an example here, but we can include photos of their certification cards or maybe their training certificates. Add that photo right on here to the record if you need to present that. We can share that with a QR code, share it via email. We can share across multiple users. So here's Bill, here's Dustin. If I want to share across multiple, I can, not a problem. Let's go ahead in here and take a look at Dustin while we're there. So Dustin's got some kind of goofy examples here, but we'll show you, let's go to Bill. I like Bill. He's got some good trainings. So from Bill's perspective, we can go ahead and review all of his trainings quickly, share it with a QR code, email, copy the URL. We'd put your name and logo up along the top here, and you can print out or share, a list of somebody's individual training certificates as well. So pretty much whatever you need from a training and certificate side, we can manage that either at a team basis, on a training basis, or on an individual level if we need as well. Keep moving down the list. At the project level, we can include important information like hospital address. We can include important documents. Maybe it's a safe entry plan for a site. Maybe it's operators manuals like I have here. Whatever you might need to include document-wise at the project level, we can. But let's go ahead to in this document section. I don't have much in here, but a really good area to go ahead and include, say, safety manuals, maybe new hire orientation information, whatever we might need as a whole. A great place to store and include documents. And again, this is fully customizable, so we can create different libraries, different tiers. Certain clients will do this by project. We'll see this in a number of different ways, but pretty much a wide open storage area for some documents. And keep in mind, the way our pricing works, there are no individual licenses, there are no data storage fees, none of those items. It's an all-in-one monthly cost. So if we're going ahead and including documents in here, you don't have to worry about your document storage or any additional costs or anything like that. All right here, all within the app, all in one place, easy to use. From there, I kind of already mentioned some of the things that we can do at the employee level, but keep in mind, because we don't charge on a per license basis, there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of really good use cases that we could come up with. So if we want to say use, all of our superintendents, we want to limit their access to, most of the software, but not all of it, great. If we want, certain people to just have access to, say, their own certifications and safety data sheets, and maybe this document area, we can too. So very flexible in how we can handle and manage permissions and restrictions within the software. Finally, we have some incident reporting in here as well. This incident reporting will populate your OSHA 300. Again, it doesn't backdate. So if you guys, let's just say you signed up on today, 11/29, it's not necessarily going to know your completed incidents previously, you know, say in March or whatever, if you haven't entered them in the system. But going forward, you can definitely include all this, populate your OSHA 300 PDF for you. You'll get some automated reporting, some automated filters to review all of the completed incidents over here, or ongoing incidents for that matter. We got plenty of useful information and indicators here as well. If I want to look at certain counts, types, whatever I might need, root cause analysis, by injury type, what have you. And again, we can even break this down by project or who submitted it, really whatever we might need on this side. A lot of cool things too with the routing on these incident reports. These are broken up to be 3 different reports, all being routed to the appropriate people. So the initial incident report is intended for somebody in the field. They fill that out. It'll send off a notification to HR, say, hey, let's collect those days away from work. Yes, I could show you. You know, initial form over here, grabbing our incident types, near miss items, all those. As soon as this is completed, notification goes to, say, maybe the HR team, maybe the safety team, and prompts them to fill out the additional information, days away from work, you know, treated in hospital, all those types of items. And then finally, a prompt for the root cause analysis. So this one's pretty standard, but if you wanted an individualized incident report, maybe you want to include some witness statements, some other things along those lines, again, not a problem. We can include that in our custom forms item. We might be, you know, you might see the reporting a little bit differently, but again, we can customize these to your needs and whatever you might need from there. So I went kind of quick, and I apologize, but let me see here. I got some questions. Give me one sec. Oh, perfect. So somebody had asked over here, and I'll do my best to get to as many of these questions as I can. Let's see. How do we add signed certifications to the system? So perfect. Again, either it'll automatically come from this lessons area. We can upload a bulk set of certifications over here if we need as well. So let's just say you had 10 or 15 folks heading off to a training. Perfect. You can upload them all at once quickly. You can also do it on an individual basis, include the photo of the the item in there, include it all at once as we need also. So let's go ahead and keep looking. I got a lot of questions, so I'm gonna do my best to get through a number of them. We're gonna try and keep it close to that half-hour mark, but let's see what else I can do. If you want to add employees to the app, how do we use this and so forth? Tailgate talks. If you need to submit this, if you need to work with the team, a lot of this you can do yourself. If you want to, upload and add employees, you certainly can. If you want to work with our training team and our support team, we can certainly do that as well. But adding tailgate talks, all those, you don't have to necessarily submit them. You can add them yourselves and create that from that side too. But again, don't forget, we're here to help if you ever need anything. Now, can the toolbox talks be done without assigning the talk, and they can pick whatever one's needed? Yes, absolutely. Let me jump out of here real quickly. I don't want to save that. So yeah, if you need to add a quick toolbox talk, or if you want the team to just select it on their own, I got my questions window open so you guys can't see it, but if I just want to go ahead and select it, they can just conduct the talk right away. They don't necessarily need to be assigned to the toolbox talk. They can just pick the topic that they want to preview or review, and they can go ahead and conduct that toolbox talk right away. And to the previous question, as far as adding things like tailgate or toolbox talks, you can just go ahead and do that right in here as well. If you have an account with Harness, when will our account be transferred over to the SafetyHQ format? That's an interesting one. Let me know individually on that one, or reach out to your support rep. It should be very similar, if not the same. It has been rebranded if you guys are familiar with the previous Harness product. But yeah, let me know if you guys got any questions for that from the SafetyHQ format. The PPE tracking fee or form, and then maybe I'll do one more after that, but let's go ahead. Somebody wanted to see that PPE tracking form. And I like showing this one because it's a really good example of how this can be customized, right? This was an example from one of our clients that asked and said, hey, can you build this PPE tracking form for us? All of our PPE seems to just, grow legs and go missing. So in this case, you can select it to a project. Most people don't, but I'll go ahead and say we're assigning this out of the shop. Now, this particular client wanted to get a total of all of the PPE that's been assigned to a particular employee. Maybe it was a new hire, whomever. We put in all these for them. This will create a sum total down at the bottom and say, hey, here's a total of all of the PPE value that we've given them. I always find this funny because their example, they'll go ahead and they take a photo of that particular employee holding all of their PPE that they've been assigned. You can do that. You can require things like an agreement or an acknowledgement of some of these items, collect signatures, a countersign, some pieces like that. So again, just showing you the power of the customization and the options that we have in here when we want to create new forms or create some safety related forms or tweak the ones that we have in there. So I'll answer kind of one last question. I apologize. I'm going as quickly as I can here to keep us within kind of that half-hour mark as a whole. But somebody asked if I want to see, I saw accident reports. Is that the same as the incident reports? That's another good example of a custom created report or form, I should say. I'll go ahead. I'll pick the accident report. Again, very small form. Focus here is on ease of use. We don't want these guys or whoever's on the team to be overwhelmed. If it's simple property damage, great. If it's vehicle related, we're going to have some additional questions. So you'll see how this form expands, once I've selected the vehicle option. If I've selected that multiple vehicles have been involved, okay, now we want to grab some more information on those vehicles. So this is all kind of up to you. And again, our team is here to support you every step of the way. Build these out for you if you'd like, and customize them to your needs. So that way your team can work on safety forms, safety management and compliance items as efficiently and as effectively as possible. So with that, we're actually a hair over. I apologize. I tried to kind of keep it in that time frame and be respectful of everyone's time, especially over the lunch hour. But if you're interested in hearing more, I mean, we just scratched the surface and we're hitting a lot of top end items here. But if you have some specifics that you want to get into, for your business, for your team, certainly reach out. Again, my name is Eric Vitardi. I can be reached at my email is edv@foundationsoft.com. That's Echo Delta Victor @foundationsoft.com. You can call our 800 number, 800-246-0800, and ask for more information about SafetyHQ, or reach out in any of your other channels there, and we'd be happy to help. So should all make its way back to me, but if you guys have any specifics, I'd love to talk them over with you, either on a personalized demo, or if you have those questions separately, email, phone, or whatever we need from that side too. So thanks everybody. I really do appreciate it. I know this is kind of in the middle of a busy day here after a holiday weekend, but thanks again for joining. And if you have any other questions, be sure to reach out. Thanks so much. Take care.